All right, everybody. Happy Friday. About 9:45 a.m. West Coast time on Friday, May 2nd. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the news. There's too much to keep up with. So let's do a little news recap of some other stories that are happening right now. Ones that I'm not going to spend a whole ton of time on. Anyway, if you like this video, please click like, leave a comment, subscribe to my page. That's free. And let's dive in. Oklahoma schools must teach Trump conspiracy theory. Oh, great. Beginning in the 25-26 school year, thousands of high school students in Oklahoma will be required to learn as a part of their regular curriculum about President Trump's debunked claims that the 2020 election was tainted by fraud. The lesson will not be part of a course on conspiracy theories, but an official component of the new social studies curriculum created by Oklahoma Superintendent of Public Instruction Ryan Walters, he also ordered that the Bible be taught K through 12. And I think the state of Oklahoma allocated something like $3 million to buy official Trump Bibles for that purpose. The new curriculum includes the following: identify discrepancies in the 2020 election results by looking at graphs and other information. I wonder if they're coming from the MyPillow guy, including the sudden halting of ballot counting in select cities in key battleground states, the security risks of mail-in balloting, sudden batch dumps, an unforeseen record number of voters, and the unprecedented contradiction of bellwether county trends. It's Oklahoma, man. Jesus Christ on a pogo stick. Donald Trump may pick Stephen Miller to be his new national security advisor. Okay. More than 1,100 immigrants have been arrested in an immigration sweep in the state of Florida. This amazes me. A 6-day immigration sweep in Florida last week resulted in the arrest of 1,120 people across the state, an operation that state and federal officials described as the largest of its kind and a warm-up for future immigration enforcement operations, said Ron DeSantis. We believe this is just the beginning. The best is yet to come. Okay, so tourism, hospitality, construction, elder care in Florida, agriculture in Florida, hurricane cleanup in Florida. Again, it's distasteful, and it needs to be addressed that huge portions of our economy are completely dependent upon the labor of undocumented immigrants. But that's the way it is right now. And Ron DeSantis and Trump and ICE and Tom Homan are going to suck every single one of those workers out of the state of Florida as we're heading into hurricane season and agriculture season. Are there white guys who voted for Donald Trump in Florida who are clamoring for positions picking strawberries and fruit? Oranges? Just saying. What's driving Trump's trade agenda? Trump wants absolute American power over global trade rules, with Trump personally at the center of it all. That's his goal. The problem is that Europe is reordering its economy without us. Japan, South Korea, countries throughout Asia are reopening economic talks with China. They're reordering their economies without us. Canada's done with us. I mean, I think our only ally right now is El Salvador. We're just going to be completely isolated from the global economy. And there's no way that that's beneficial for the United States or Americans. It just isn't. The Weather Service has been way more crippled than previously thought. The National Weather Service is in worse shape than previously known due to a combination of layoffs, early retirements, pre-existing vacancies that are not being filled, and massive funding cuts. The nation's forecasting agency is in tatters as what could be a very destructive hurricane season nears. Oh boy. And red states, hurricanes hit red states, guys. I'm just saying. Ilhan Omar tells a reporter to fuck off. I enjoyed this story. Representative Ilhan Omar twice told a reporter from the Daily Caller to fuck off as he asked her questions about detained immigrant Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Good for her. That's fantastic. Yesterday, Donald Trump gave a commencement speech at the University of Alabama where he said the following. At a commencement speech, you have to break the system a little bit and follow your own instincts. But if your vision is right, nothing will hold you down. Nothing. You have to have the right vision. If you look at some of these internet people, I know so many of them. Elon is so terrific, but I know all of them. You know, they hated me in my first term and now they're kissing my ass. Have the right vision for your life. Look at these tech guys kissing my ass. Is that implying that Donald Trump's vision was Mark Zuckerberg kissing his ass? Who knows? So yesterday a judge threw out Trump's ability to use the Alien Enemies Act, so they're looking for different ways to arrest and deport immigrants. And this raised a lot of questions for me. The Trump administration has been examining whether it can label some suspected cartel and gang members inside the U.S. as enemy combatants as a possible way to detain them more easily and limit their ability to challenge their imprisonment. The enemy combatant designation, which we also used during the Bush years to, torture people, could also be applied to suspected narco-terrorists outside the U.S., people said, as a way to potentially give the U.S. justification to conduct lethal strikes against them. So, are there a bunch of cartel and gang members inside the U.S. roaming around that the government is aware of and has not yet arrested? That implies that there is. Trump says he is ending Harvard's tax-exempt status. Said Trump, quote, "It's what they deserve." I need to do a little digging. I'll probably do a separate video on this, on why Donald Trump hates Harvard so much. I'm sure it's something stupid, as like he wanted an honorary degree 40 years ago and they said no, or they turned him down for a commencement speech at Harvard, and he's bent out of shape about that still to this day. But I need to look into that. But the IRS code prevents presidents from interfering with federal tax agencies' decisions, raising questions about whether Trump's Friday announcement stemmed from his own decision-making or a reference to the end of the independent agency's review, the IRS, the end of the independence of the IRS. I mean, I think that ship has sailed. So, and we saw this week the effect of Donald Trump that he had on elections in Canada. The Liberal Party did extremely successful, whereas 3 months ago, Pierre Poilievre was up by 25 points, the Conservative candidate. Now he's having a similar impact on elections that are taking place in Australia. Trust in the United States is plummeting in Australia. There's a Saturday vote coming up among global financial turmoil sparked by Trump's tariffs, and including Australia. And so liberals in Australia are probably going to win this coming Saturday's elections as well because of Donald Trump. So at least there's that. J.D. Vance has said that the Ukraine war is not close to ending. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to end anytime soon. You know, Trump said he'd get it over in a day. Kudos to Europe for stepping up and filling the void of weapons and intelligence left by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Inside Trump's profitable first 100 days. This is from Axios. I don't like Axios. The guys who run Axios kiss Donald Trump's ass at every possible opportunity. They put up an article last year, get to know Donald Trump through his Spotify playlist. Yeah, that's the kind of shit they publish at Axios. However, they have an article about how Donald Trump has been, and his family have been raking in billions of dollars through a flood of ethically murky business ventures. I did a video a few days ago about their crypto coin scam, and it's just, even for these guys, it's fucking ridiculous. Donald Trump is concerned that he's going to be impeached again by Democrats in the House, and he put up a late night Truth Social post Thursday night saying that any congressional Democrats who seek to impeach him should be expelled from Congress. So remember, 2 years ago, the House actually did expel George Santos. The problem for Donald Trump is that expelling a member of the House of Representatives takes a 2/3 vote from the members of the House of Representatives, and Republicans have a 3-seat majority. They certainly don't have 2/3 to necessary to get that done. Donald Trump signed an executive order ending all funding for NPR and PBS. Whatever. I think I read something a couple weeks ago that said their federal funding accounts for less than 5% of their budgets. So I think they'll be fine. There's a woman named Liz Oyer. She goes by Lawyer Oyer, Oyer, on TikTok. I just found her a couple days ago. She was the pardon attorney at the DOJ who refused to give convicted domestic abuser Mel Gibson his gun rights back, and then she was fired. So she put out on social media this week that President Donald Trump's pardons of people convicted of white-collar crimes so far have cost Americans over $1 billion. And she arrived at that number by adding up all of the money that the people who were pardoned would have had to pay in restitution for their crimes, that they, based on how much they were convicted of stealing, and they no longer have to do that because Donald Trump pardoned all of them. So there's over $1 billion just out the window. We'll close it out with this. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was speaking at an event, and she spoke rather forcefully and forcefully condemned attacks by President Trump and his allies against judges who have blocked Trump administration policies, warning yesterday that the increasingly hostile rhetoric poses a dire threat to the country's political fabric, as well as members of the judiciary. She said the attacks are not random. They seem designed to intimidate those of us who serve in this critical capacity. The threats and harassment are attacks on our democracy, on our system of government, and ultimately they risk undermining our Constitution and the rule of law. I mean, I appreciate her saying that, but I think we're already there, to be honest. Anyhow, hope everybody has a good Friday. The weekend is here. Please be safe this weekend. If you're going to go protest, do not give police any excuse to arrest you whatsoever. And again, if you like this video, please click like, leave a comment, subscribe to my page. Thanks. Have a good weekend.